Okay, so we got the stream started up. Let's check the streams and see if there's audio and all that.
Hey, alright, here we go. Time to jam.
All right, there we go. Confirmed that I can see it working on both Rumble and YouTube. It went a lot quicker today, 30 minutes or something. All right. Actually, okay. All right. I like to see, being able to see occasionally that it's actually moving around over there. Um, I'm gonna zoom this out a little bit, maybe. All right, it's good enough. Okay. Um, yes, you can see my screen. So I'm on cursor here, just hanging out on Saturday, getting more practice at streaming. I'm adding more content for Stream Team. It's main focus here today. Um, Fortunately, my Shopify that I tried setting up this week is stuck. It's just stuck on talking to the IRS to find out if the entity is real or not. And their tech support has, I've been contacting them every single day and they haven't gotten back to me. So the USBs with this AI actor software, which I have ready, I've got it all tested out and fixed all that stuff I had was it last week I recorded one of these maybe or the weekend before, fixed all that and got a new a new image created for the USBs of this AI software, and I just can't sell them. Shopify is stuck trying to talk to every time you deal with the government. It's always a nightmare. Okay, so this thing I got going at Cursor is a which is a proof of concept. I'm just trying out something here. I'm trying a different way of having AI uh, build me a project from scratch. Before, what I would do is have it basically create like a research design doc about whatever it is I wanted built, and then I'd use that as a prompt and tell it, okay, now create a implementation plan, well, or like an architecture, a design plan, and then from that I would feed that in as a prompt into the next conversation. Say, here's a design plan, create an implementation plan, step-by-step implementation plan for coding all of this, and then I let it go, and it keeps a to do and updates the implementation plan as it's going along and all that. And but having all of the context for all of the implementation steps in one document um, increases the size of its context that it has, the, the prompts that are being fed to it, and a lot of it isn't relevant to what is being done right then, which is a task. And instead, it has this as its prompt, all the tasks going in, and with some chat up above saying I'm currently on task 14 of 137 or whatever. So there's opportunities there for it to get confused um, because the context isn't constrained enough. That hasn't caused too many problems, but I do have to handhold it around some things. And I think it's because of that. So anyway, this time with this new project, I've had it basically do the same thing, but instead of creating a document with the implementation plan, there are folders that act as queues. So a to do, tasks in progress, tasks complete. And my instructions are for it to, instead of creating an implementation plan as a document, create an implementation plan as a series of task files that are created in this tasks to do folder. And then it works its way through those files one at a time. And so its context is about that task, not every other task, and picking one of them and working on it. Instead, the tasks are a series of files, and those files, when it opens them, looks at them, it acts as a prompt, and it goes, okay, here's the next task I'm supposed to do, and none of the other tasks prompts are in there. Um, these lights, I don't really like them. I think this thing doesn't actually charge and be on at the same time. So I think it has like an internal battery or something, and eventually runs out. I don't know. In any case, so that light might end up flicking out at some point here. Um, Till I figure it out. Oh, but anyway, so that makes it so the amount of other subjects that are put into the context for what it's currently working on is greatly reduced. Now there's the risk of like previous tasks or even future tasks having a relationship to the current task, and by it not having all of them every time, it may have like a pigeonholed view of what it's working on this current task and not implement it in such a way that it integrates in with everything else. But um, that's not, I mean, that risk is somewhat mitigated by this being an agent, this cursor, where it knows to keep trying again, going, taking another pass, it iterates. And so it can read through the tasks that it's already moved to in progress or to complete, and it can look through any of the previous tasks too. By looping through the other files, those task files. So it can still get both the broad view and now the focus on a specific task context. I don't know how it's going to play out. I've just been kind of keeping it going in the background all week long in between other things I was doing, not paying much attention to it at all. I'm just seeing if this agent, because I've never had an app get built successfully all the way through without me really paying much attention to it. A lot of these AI companies are pushing that. OpenAI, Claude, all of them, Cursor, these background agents, and you plug them into GitHub, and supposedly they can build an entire app from scratch without you being involved, even though it's an iterative process. And unless you did a complete waterfall architectural design doc and gave it to it up front, it doesn't know how you want things to be for every single detail. So I don't see how it could finish an app on its own. Um, but it could finish up something on its own. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm trying to get it to do something that actually works when it's done, even though it's doing, and it's not a simple app. I've had to create lots of simple and medium complexity apps on its own, and in one burst basically of iteration in a day, in an hour or two, and get an app done. But they're not super complex apps. You're talking about really complex apps where there's all kinds of choices that need to be made along the way. Um, it takes some hand holding because it'll make decisions, go down paths that you don't want. Like I didn't ask it to package this whole thing up in Docker or something like that, and or I didn't ask it to base the whole thing on installing some SQL server when it could have just done everything as a bunch of JSON files. There's some hand holding like that I typically have to do, and hopefully this method here will be better, but I don't know. It's still going. And what this app is I'm trying to figure out a way to automate what I'm about to do here manually. So I've been using the lips. What am I looking for here? Uh, yeah, Camtasia. I'm making content using videos made, AI actor videos made with lip sync flow. which once again will be available for sale on a USB stick once um, Shopify and IRS get unstuck. Or maybe I'll have to just go to some other company and try again or something. But I have a feeling because the document I got from the IRS, the way they've coded this information that they want that's a link with the company is, I don't know, it looks weird to me. I keep searching up on the internet, and the responses I get say, yes, the IRS does that, but why doesn't it just accept it when I plug it into Shopify then? But in any case, so it's not on sale yet. Hopefully soon. I'm assuming Shopify tech support isn't actually working this weekend. Sometime next week. I may have to go to another company or something instead of Shopify. I'm not sure. AI is helping me it pick ship of Shopify because of the other things it can integrate in with. We'll see. Um, okay, so anyway, so I've already been creating. You can see here multiple of these other examples, which is basically it's a concept of a tech news, technology news site made with a make-believe actor called David Vance. Right, so I've made like six of them so far, I think, and I've got a few more of them rendered of the AI actor already, and so I just need to put them together into these videos and put them up on YouTube. So that's what I'm doing here today. Is I think I've got two more left to do, and I'm going to do those right here, right now. Um, I've been building up components as I've been going along, so I can just drag and drop my way into some of this stuff, like this intro. I just drag and drop this in, ungroup it so it's into its pieces and parts, because I'm going to edit the text for this one part right here, because each story has a different visual text down here. Okay, the next story, figure out what that is. Robots with muscles. Okay. So like this is going to be robotics news. And uh, try to keep this really short. I don't think I could even fit robot muscles in there probably. Let's see. Robot muscles. That's like that better than just muscles. All right. Um, what's it? Mylamar muscles from BattleTech. I don't know if that's what those are yet. I doubt it, but they're working their way towards it. Okay, so there's the intro. I just kind of paste that over or move that scrubber over a little bit. I don't want too much of a black gap in between, but I do want kind of a small one, which you'll see here. It has to do with this, the name of the David Vance label. There's like a cutoff where it goes from to a just red and black, and then the video starts with the actor. David Vance, the AI actor. Okay, so let's come up here to robot muscles. These are all his speaking parts. I've been learning all kinds of things along the way. The last video I did last night, um, it was slightly under 3 minutes long, and YouTube told me that it considers that a short. And the background intro theme music or whatever that I'm using here comes from Camtasia's library, and they've got a copyright thing on it on YouTube, so you can't use it only on shorts. It's fine to use it on longer videos, which means 3 minutes or longer, but not on shorts. So that add a little bit more to the story. That's not going to be a problem here, but seeing how many pieces there are here reminded me of that. Um, so that's the type of stuff I'm learning by doing this practice over and over and over. Um, okay, so and these are all individual speaking parts of that actor. The AI engine um, can go up to like max 30 seconds of speaking time, and the longer you go, the more likely that it invents stuff, has distortions. It already has kind of color imbalances because there's no way for it to know um, or to maintain like a consistency of every exact lighting parameter and everything as it's going from clip to clip to clip. And so doing these types of transitions and things that normally you see done in on TV helps with that cut over or the differences from clip to clip. Like if we look closely here, see right there's it got lighter all of a sudden right there between those two clips. Now in the app, in the Lip Sync Flow app, I'm just trying to get these done quick, so I'm not trying to use this feature, but right now is. But if I was trying to make these perfect, then I would use this feature here to practice or try to get that those lighting effects fixed or the lighting differences fixed. Perhaps I don't know. What was it? I was. Oh, right. I'm looking for the scripts. Do I have those here? No. Where did I put them? Am I putting them? Maybe they're on the other computer. I probably rendered them over there instead of on here. Yeah, I could see it open back here. Okay, that's what was going on. Was I see this is the shorter story. It has fewer pieces, and I had to add one more piece in here to get it over 3 minutes. Okay, so what was I doing? I was looking for creating a new script, but all of the actor images are there. But maybe I have them over here too. Let's see. I already rendered them. So why was I opening this? Crap. I don't remember what I was doing. I was talking about. I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't need the. Here, let me jump back here. Oh, right. The feature for FFmpeg. Okay, so there's a couple different ways of doing it, but the like one basic built-in way here is these right here: post-processing, edit final frame processors, so or per clip processor. So edit final frame processors apply effects to the last frame of the video, which is helpful when it's used as the first frame for the next video. So if you're using this feature up here, um, use previous last frame. Yeah, so that doesn't make sense on this one because I have the first video selected. So let's say that I have the second video selected right here. So you have one video up top. It's already rendered. It just got done rendering in the rendering queue for that job, for this whole job. Then this next video begins. And if you have this checked, then what it's going to do is take a snapshot, take the last image of the last image from the first video that just got done rendering. I'll take the last image of that. So if a person just got to stop like this or something, that becomes the starting image for the next video. And then it starts rendering from there. And it doesn't always do it perfectly, like start off right there and continue on. So it's just a completely synced and snapped together clips of a video. It doesn't always do that. Sometimes it does do that. Other times it just decides, okay, well that's a nice start, but I'm going to have them start with their hands down or something. So it's I don't know that with the current state of AI that we can clip together um, or stitch together just infinite numbers of these clips and come up with a completely smooth equivalent of a singly recorded 30-minute video, not with the state that it's in yet. Even like those new that new one from OpenAI doesn't do that. So uh, what you do is you make all of these. Oh, damn it! I still didn't. Okay, so okay, yeah. So what I was talking about here, worry about that. So was this idea of having the last frame. Then once you have the last frame, then you come down here and start applying extra effects because what it has built into it is this open source library called FFmpeg. Discord uses it. No, maybe, but OBS I read uses it. All kinds of different video processing software uses FFmpeg. This does too, and FFmpeg supports lots of different image and video processing filters and stuff, and so you can add those in just by looking at the documentation, understanding how FFmpeg works, um, and then you can put those into here, and they show up. If you edit the library to add them in, they show up here as choices. Otherwise, you can um, just add them manually. Oh no, I think I have to make that an object. You go like that, opens up another window. Yeah, and then you can add in, um, some JSON that represents that. I don't want to do that right now. I don't even remember the exact syntax. I would have to go look up the documentation myself to remember exactly how to do it. The easiest way is just to set them up in the library. Well, I bet it'll show up here if I go like that. Yeah, there it is. There's the exact syntax. So then you can open up that object by double clicking on it, and then it breaks it out into pieces. And so, which are different properties that you're assigning. So in this case, it's saying I want an FFmpeg effect added. I want to do a horizontal flip, and this is left over from some feature that I was going to put in, but I never ended up putting in. At least not yet. Could in the future if people support this. So anyway, so let me get rid of that. Add in another one. Let's say, uh, no, brighter. Let's say that your videos come out too dark for some reason. Then you can apply this FFmpeg, which like command, which sets the brightness to some setting. And then that what will happen is it'll take that last frame of the previous video and use it on this video as its first frame. And if back here on the first video, if it was outputting as too dark and you applied that brightness filter, then that one last frame that gets taken from the previous video gets brightened and then becomes the first frame for the next video, or darkened, or whatever else you want to do to it. Lots of effects. And then this per clip processor is the same sort of setup here, but instead of it being applied just to that last frame that's taken, it's applied to the entire video clip. So you can make the entire video brighter or purple or all kinds of effects you can apply to it. So, and then there's another option if you were to combine multiple videos or maybe even like all of these or whatever into a sequence. Yeah, into a sequence, then you can apply it to the entire sequence, an effect to the entire sequence of videos. So let's just call this it, whatever, sequence one, and then you can start assigning these to that sequence. Oops, like that, and then these three would be in sequence one. And if you apply, you can apply per clip processors, which are just the same things, FFmpeg effects, but you're applying them to each of the clips that are in the sequence. Okay, so after they're rendered, then it would apply these to each one individually. And then this one is if you have them all, right here, join all clips in this sequence to one video, and then combine them into one video and then apply these effects to them. So it'll append one to the other, and then apply the FFmpeg effects to that entire combined video. So there might, if I were playing with it, it might be possible, if I put more time into trying to make this into like a company. Let's say I was going to be doing this every day, all day for the next year or more, whatever. Like I'm making an actual real news site. I may put more time into getting this FFmpeg filters built into this whole thing so that every one of these clips are collared better, or at least collar normalized across all of them. Maybe I would combine them all, have it combine them all into one big sequence, and then do a collar normalization across them all. Maybe that would help, but I don't need to. Basically, in this case, you can get by without doing any of that extra work. As I found out working with the streamer Del Norin over on Rumble, Star Citizen streamer. He and I worked together to make that StantonRadio.com, which uses the same tool. There. So it's this website here. Um, he just updated it last night. He made it a lot bigger, like an extra hour and a half. It was added to the. It's a radio show, um, and so this right here is
This
jump past the
viral whitening
commercials and
powder
stuff.
got 100 million plus views overnight, and you won't believe who's behind it. A new 3-in-1.
Inflation is destroying your savings, but gold and silver have protected wealth for thousands of years.
We want to thank you for sticking.
So right there's one of the actors. Um, okay, there's another one of the actors. AI made with lip sync flow. It's not a real person. Oops, I saw another one in there somewhere. Right there's another one of his actors. AI actors made with lip sync flow. Here's another one of his AI actors. She's the same one as the first one, but in the story, she's now basically a rebel, and she's hiding her identity. And she talks, but you don't see her mouth moving because she has a mask on, obviously. So you just kind of see her head moving around as if she's saying those words. So you kind of see that aspect of it without the mouth. The AI likes to stick mouths in here because it's a lip syncing AI, video AI, and so some of these, for whatever reason, it really wanted that particular clip for her to have a mouth, and it would make it so that, I mean, it was like maybe she had a cut in the mask, and every once in a while you'd see her mouth if she opened her mouth too much or whatever. Sometimes it put like a cartoon mouth right on top of the mask. Yeah, just re-render those when that happens. I mean, once again, it's all on your computer, and it doesn't cost you anything every time you render it. So just keep rendering as much as you want. Uh, but anyway, so, and yeah, that's another person who's so what I've learned by working with him is that you can do transitions and stuff with these videos and not worry about getting an exact match on the collaring because it gets hidden away in the transitions. So in this case, I'm just going to have to listen to this and look at as it's going along and mix in some of these transitions and such. So this is a story about what? Darn it. Robot muscles. Let me save this and see it up in the title next time. Okay. So I need to start playing it, listening to it. Hmm. I want to hear it, but I don't see here. It's capturing audio from my desktop, so you should hear it from that. And if I have the mic going, or the speakerphone going also, then it's probably going to pick it up and send it again out the stream. So I think what I did last time was I had headphones on, but was not using them for the mic, just to hear the audio. Man, I don't know how that's going to work. I forget how it worked last time with the stream, and but I think that might be it. Let's try it to see what happens. Come on, USB. Paint. All right. So want to do here? I want to make sure the audio is coming out to me, my headphones here. What is this? Just give me my audio. Okay. And hold on, let's look at OBS or something. Okay, yeah. All right, so it's still got my voice. Let's see what happens when I play audio.
Hey everyone, let's talk about a breakthrough in robotics and wearable tech.
Okay, so I see the desktop audio on OBS and I can hear it. But I don't think I saw the microphone moving. Let's check again.
Imagine a material.
And no microphone. Okay, good. So I think streams can hear it and I can hear it without any duplication. All right, so let's try this again. Well, let's just watch the whole thing from the beginning. So since this is the first time for you guys to see it, I've been watching this all weekend long, or all week long, every evening making these.
Hey everyone, let's talk about a breakthrough in robotics and wearable tech. Imagine.
Okay, already I just remembered step one here. Step one, and this is something I learned this week doing this. That's why I like doing these in real life all the way through over and over, rather than just selling the lip sync software and get the Shopify up going. Is using it, using what's the term we use? Eating your own dog food. Um, Using your own tools over and over and over and over. I've made hundreds of these videos so far of renders using my own lip sync tool, but now putting them together, I'm doing the part that Del Noren streamer was doing before with his show, his 6.5 hour show, radio show, um, on that StantonRadio.com I was showing earlier. So he did all this stuff on his own. I just sent him the clips after rendering them for him because he was only using the user interface. Not his computer isn't really powerful enough to do the rendering, the AI rendering. But now that I'm doing this part, also I'm learning some tricks here. So, for example, this video is actually comes in at too small. So I'm going to just right click on it, say scale to fit. Now, do I want, darn it. Okay, undo that. Go back to the right clip that I meant to be on, the first one. Scale to fit. Okay. And then instead of doing that over and over and over for every clip, slow, annoying, I just right click. I didn't know about this feature before. I copy properties, highlight every one of these like that. Just click, drag while still holding the mouse button. Let go. Now you got them all highlighted. Right click, paste properties, and now they're all that size. Not that I'll keep them that way. I'll probably move them around and stuff as part of this, like I said, these transitions and such. Okay, so that's step one. Step two.
Hey everyone, let's talk about a breakthrough in robotics and wearable tech. Imagine a material that can switch from being as soft and flexible as rubber to as hard and strong as steel in an instant. Well, a research team has created just that, a new type of artificial muscle. This isn't just any artificial muscle. When it contracts, it can deliver an energy output that blows human muscles out of the water. For years, soft artificial muscles have been a huge promise for things like robotics, wearable gadgets, and medical tech. But there's always been a catch. They could either be really flexible or really strong, but never both at the same time. This new discovery completely changes the game. The team has engineered a composite muscle that's soft when it needs to move and becomes rigid when it needs to support heavy loads. Get this, a tiny piece of this muscle weighing just 1.25 grams can hold up to 5 kilograms. That's about 4,000 times its own weight. And when it's in its soft state, it can stretch up to 12 times its original length. When it contracts, it achieves a strain of over 86%. That's more than double what our own muscles can do. The energy it can deliver per unit volume, what scientists call work density, is 30 times higher than human muscle tissue. Achieving this level of power along with high stretchability has been a huge challenge until now. So, what's the secret sauce? It's a cleverly designed dual cross-linked polymer network. Think of it like this. One set of chemical bonds gives it structural strength, while another set of physical bonds, which can be controlled by heat, gives it incredible flexibility. They've also embedded tiny magnetic particles into the muscle. This means they can use external magnetic fields to control its movement with precision. They've already successfully used this to make it lift objects. This breakthrough overcomes the old trade-off where artificial muscles were either stretchy but weak or strong but stiff. This new material can do both, paving the way for more versatile soft robots, smarter wearable devices, and more intuitive ways for us to interact with machines.
Okay. Well, that was all pretty smooth, actually. Um, so, all right. One issue, though, is I never mentioned what it was called in there. I don't want to render another one right now. I can, but if I have to, but instead, let's find the story, the news story somewhere out there, which I don't have the name for it, so what am I going to do to find it? That's a lesson learned there. I need to start. Well, I'm not going to be if I'm going to keep doing these. I need to write down what the story. I link to one, to, a link to some instance of the story on either on like a internet search version of it or on an actual science paper link URL or something. But so, let's open a new browser. one over here, do some searching. See if I can find it. Here we go. All right. So what is the name of this? Okay. So here's a picture. This is another thing that helps with making these type of videos is if the scientific paper or whatever has images or videos available, we can include those in the news story. So you're mixing different media together, not just the guy sitting there talking the whole time. Okay. Just go like that. Let's see. Trying to find some kind of image or something that I could show that has the information about where it came from. Or I'll have to have him record another clip, put it in. Softly. Some of these, I mean, the science news, some of these science articles are, don't, they're just mainly just text. Like that picture. Let's save that one. And I'll convert it to something else. I don't like that web. I don't think this supports WebP, if I remember right. Camtasia. So open it with paint.net. And then save it right back out again as like PNG or JPEG or something. Okay. Yeah, they don't have anything that really like says the name of the technology or who was working on it or anything. It doesn't look like. So I have to do something here. It was it's a research team affiliated with UNIST and the Department of Mechanical Engineering at UNIST. Okay, so really, let's see if I can do something a little bit different than I did in the other videos.
and wearable tech. Imagine a material that can switch that, a new type of artificial muscle. Well, a research team has
Okay, so right here. So he's talking about a research team right here. So let's try adding in a like a text box here. that says the name of the organization instead of having him record another clip of him saying it. Uh, where'd that thing come from? Huh. Okay. I care for that. It's not too bad. Stroke. That's the border around the outside. That probably on the text, but still that made it look better. How about on the box though? Yeah, the call out itself. How do I edit the? Is there a border on these? Doesn't look like it. But over here, here we go. Maybe this is the thickness of the outline. Yeah, yeah, there we go. And change the color. As what? Something else. Goes with green better. Okay, I guess that's not bad. Um, and then let's have it fade in. Last, at least that long, I guess. Let's see here. Transitions. Fade in.
Research team has created just that, a new type of artificial muscle. This isn't just any artificial muscle. When it contracts, it can deliver an energy output that blows human muscles out of the water. For years, soft artificial muscles had been a huge promise for things like robotics, wearable gadgets, and medical tech. But there's always been a catch. They could either be really flexible or really strong, but never both at the same time.
Okay, all right. So that seemed fine. I got the information in there without me having to record another clip just to say that. Okay. So he's talking, he's talking, he's talking. I got some other images here I need to import so I can cycle between different views. Let's import both of those. Grab maybe first one here and put it in. I don't know, maybe right there. Okay. What if I took this and moved it over to there and then really stretch this out like that? So just that movement of this clip of him switching over like that, if there was any type of jolt, a little bit of a jolt between the clips, you won't even see them now because they're just moving so quick.
Always been a catch. They could either be really flexible or really strong, but never both at the same time. This new discovery completely changes the game. The team
Okay, so let's keep this one over there as well.
This new discovery completely changes the game. The team has engineered a composite muscle that's soft when it needs to move and becomes rigid when it needs to support heavy.
Okay, I didn't like that jump there, so I'm going to come over to transitions. See, one I've been using is that linear blur, I think. Put it right here between those two, zoom in on them, make it shorter. The transition length time a lot shorter. So it just
game. The team has
like that.
engineered a composite muscle that's soft when it needs to move and becomes rigid when it needs to support heavy loads. Get this. A tiny piece of this muscle weighing just 1.25 grams can hold up to 5 kilograms. That's about 4,000 times its own weight. And when it's in its soft state,
Okay, so now I have another image from their science paper here. And I didn't make the other one fade in, so let's do that. And fade out on both of them as well. Oops, no, no. Fade out. Previous image. Okay. I very much doubt there's going to be anybody showing up to chat with, but just in case, I need to remember to keep checking. So fade, fade in, fade out.
the team has created just that, a new type of artificial muscle. They could either be really flexible or really strong, but never both at the same time. This new discovery completely changes the game. The team has engineered a composite muscle that's soft when it needs to move and becomes rigid when it needs to support heavy loads. Get this.
Okay. Stretch it out a little bit.
Loads. Get this.
Not or too much.
Heavy loads. Get this.
Let's have this one fade in also right there. Maybe it'll all smooth together nice.
Heavy loads. Get this.
That's
a tiny
better.
piece of this muscle weighing just a tiny piece of this
Huh. My speakers died, or my headphones died, or something.
heavy loads.
Ah, yeah. What's going on here? Test. Okay, now I can hear it. I don't know what was going on. Let's see if Camtasia is working now.
Get this.
Yeah, weird. Windows, maybe. I was hearing some ticks the whole time in my headphones, so maybe it was having some kind of an issue and it finally just died.
Heavy loads. Get this. A tiny piece of this muscle weighing just 1.25 grams can hold up to 5 kilograms. That's about 4,000 times its own weight.
So fade in, fade out, fade transition there. Fade, do the same thing. Go over a little bit. Fade in between on him. Make it really short.
Of the water. For years, soft artificial muscles have been a huge promise for things like robotics, wearable state. It can stretch up
Okay, so that needs to be moved some way.
state. It can stretch up to 12 times its original length. When it contracts, it achieves a strain of over 86%. That's more than double what our own muscles can do. The energy it can deliver per unit volume, what scientists call work density, is 30 times higher than human muscle tissue. Achieving this level of power along with high stretchability has been a huge challenge until now. So, what's the secret sauce? It's a cleverly designed dual cross-linked polymer network. Think of
Okay, so right there, I'll put another little transition of some other kind. More. What does that do? Let's try it, see what it does.
polymer network. Think of it like this. One set of chemical bonds gives it structural strength, while
Huh.
another set of physical bonds, which can be controlled by heat, gives it incredible flexibility. They've also embedded tiny magnetic particles into the muscle. This means they can use external magnetic fields to control its movement with precision. They've already successfully used this to make it lift objects. This breakthrough overcomes the old trade-off where artificial muscles were either stretchy but weak or strong but stiff. This new material can do both, paving the way.
Let's do another little transition there, like that. Same linear blur, same one before. Zoom in, make it really short, quick.
This new material can do both, paving the way for more versatile soft robots, smarter wearable devices, and more intuitive
And there goes the audio again.
ways for us.
What is wrong with Windows? Why is it doing this today? And now it's gone entirely. Maybe these headphones are dying. That's ridiculous. I guess they're dead. I switched to different headphones. Technology. It's one of the things that worries me about even trying to do the entrepreneurial thing is I don't want people being pissed at me because technology breaks and it always breaks. There's no way that mine isn't going to break sometimes. It just won't even be mine. It'll be something happening on Windows and they'll blame lip sync flow. All right, so let's try this again. Yeah, I think that's it.
Or strong but stiff. This new material can do both, paving the way for more versatile soft robots, smarter wearable devices, and more intuitive ways for us to interact with machines.
Okay, so that's good enough. I have an outro in the library here. Two outros. One of them I've been modifying at the end of these news. The caller, just the caller, stream team outro. So slap that onto the end like that, and then where's the other one? Right here. Grab this one, slap it on the end like that. Change the color scheme to be that's that's for some other videos. The color scheme here's can have that red for the what's his name? David Vance to kind of match what he has at the beginning of his name. So let's watch that.
Intuitive ways for us to interact.
Oh, let me add a fade out on the end there. That always makes it look nicer. Transitions, fade. Right
With machines.
Okay, so that's too long, I think. That's it. That's the outro. It's over 3 minutes, so it's not going to be as short on YouTube, so that's good. So let's just export it. Let's go back and check the text to make sure I actually changed it. Robot muscles, yes, okay. Export, local file. Use the GPU, yes. Robot muscles, that's right. New high-speed memory, that's wrong. Switch folder, output folder to new muscles. Export. So now we just wait for the video to render. Doesn't take too long, it being just 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And run length. It doesn't take that long to render it. And then after that, I render a phone version and then put them both up on YouTube. Oh man, an hour? Have I been going for an hour already? Let's see here. How do I check like chat on YouTube? Okay, look at that. There's nobody there, as usual. Nobody there. Okay, so okay, let's watch it. See what we got before going any further.
Hey everyone, let's talk about a breakthrough in robotics and wearable tech. Imagine a material that can switch from being as soft and flexible as rubber to as hard and strong as steel in an instant. Well, a research team has created just that, a new type of artificial muscle. This isn't just any artificial muscle. When it contracts, it can deliver an energy output that blows human muscles out of the water. For years, soft artificial muscles have been a huge promise for things like robotics, wearable gadgets, and medical tech. But there's always been a catch. They could either be really flexible or really strong, but never both at the same time. This new discovery completely changes the game. The team has engineered a composite muscle that's soft when it needs to move and becomes rigid when it needs to support heavy loads. Get this. A tiny piece of this muscle weighing just 1.25 grams can hold up to 5 kilograms. That's about 4,000 times its own weight. And when it's in its soft state, it can stretch up to 12 times its original length. When it contracts, it achieves a strain of over 86%. That's more than double what our own muscles can do. The energy it can deliver per unit volume, what scientists call work density, is 30 times higher than human muscle tissue. Achieving this level of power along with high stretchability has been a huge challenge until now. So, what's the secret sauce? It's a cleverly designed dual cross-linked polymer network. Think of it like this. One set of chemical bonds gives it structural strength, while another set of physical bonds, which can be controlled by heat, gives it incredible flexibility. They've also embedded tiny magnetic particles into the muscle. This means they can use external magnetic fields to control its movement with precision. They've already successfully used this to make it lift objects. This breakthrough overcomes the old trade-off where artificial muscles were either stretchy but weak or strong but stiff. This new material can do both, paving the way for more versatile soft robots, smarter wearable devices, and more intuitive ways for us to interact with machines.
Okay, that all seemed good enough to me. Okay, so the way I turn it into a for phone version, at least for now, there's probably better ways of doing it. But once again, I'm doing this as more of a demonstration, so I'm not spending that much time on it. So clear this out, go back to home, do this import to Camtasia Rev. That's that same video I just made that I rendered out. Bring it into here. It defaults to the settings where I last left it, so I don't have to really do anything. I just save it and render it. Use the same name basically, but with for phone added on the end. Export it to the same folder. Yes. Export. Now that one will render, which is the same video, but put into this phone shaped format. Doesn't take too long here. And then once this is done, then I just upload them both to YouTube and start the next one. Okay. So here they both are. So now let's go to YouTube. Ah, that stinks. I've got my YouTube account in that browser logged in as me instead of Stream Team. So how am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to have to dig in here a bit. Uh, okay, I have to pop in something to view it in. Okay, so now they want me to enter a code. So it's taking longer than I wanted. Let's see here. type this in. And I'm in YouTube as stream team. Okay, so let's pull this over here and let's tell it to upload a video. That right there, upload video. And then I get the folder where the videos are. Here. And I drag and drop in the first one. All right. So description. Let's see here. Let's look at the article or the science paper. Let's see if we can get some phrase here that would work good there. Let's go with that. Okay, so that's good enough. Let me make a copy of this so I can easily just paste that back in when I do the phone version later. Here in a minute. Okay, I want to start off in that playlist. No, it's not for kids. And it's back there looking and processing on this video. YouTube is right now. So at some point these auto-generated be there. And I'll just pick one of these as the starting frame. I could upload, you can upload your own. I'm pretty sure I've done that before, but once again for these, I'll just use what it picks probably. Oh man, I'm tired. I get much sleep. Okay, there we go. Just pick one of these. Go next. Make it public, and I'm done. So now that's available up on YouTube and that playlist, the cutting edge news playlist, and then let's do the next one, the phone version. Get probably start with my clipboard. Paste. Yep. Okay. Uh, put it into the for phone version of cutting edge news playlist. Not for kids. And we'll wait for auto generated. And I think that's it. Just hit next, 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 public and done on this one as well. And then we start the next video, the last one to do these cutting edge news, at least for now. Don't know if I actually want to turn that into a everyday thing, though I easily could. There's endless streams of science and tech news out there. I could make this into an everyday multi-clip thing that's a channel that's just cutting edge news with this AI actor and any others I come up with. This AI actor, in fact, I've got myself set up to keep doing these, quite frankly, just maybe not every day. But to see if I can find it here. Characters. So I have him in here, director David Vance, and if you look, I've got a lot of different images of him from different views, with and without beards and stubble, so that like over time you can see him transition and grow wearing different suits, different hair, and so over time, it's like a person actually changing, and so that it's possible I could keep going with them. And whatever, it's fine. Public and publish. Okay, so that one's out there now. You can come over and take a look at it and see, playlists there, videos. You can see I've got 7 of them so far. And just each one with a different news story, a different science story. Um, okay, so next one, last one for today, probably. Jump back over here. Yeah, news right here. Self-filling lithium batteries. That's it. Okay. And I get my intro in here. What am I doing? Library. Here we go. Intro. And group it so I could change the story text. Okay, so this is what? It's not. It's not chips. I'd call it. Instead of calling it hardware, I'll call it batteries. Batteries, news, and it is self-healing. Self-healing batteries. Okay, so then over here a little bit. Okay, and then bring in the videos for the AI actor. Okay, there they are. Okay.
All right, let's talk about a potential game changer in battery technology. We all know the future is all solid-state batteries. They're set to power everything from our phones.
Okay, so step 1, make it bigger. Scale to fit. Step 2, copy properties. Step 3, highlight all the rest and resize them. Nice. Okay. Now let's listen.
All right, let's talk about a potential game changer in battery technology. We all know the future is all solid-state batteries. They're set to power everything from our phones to our cars. The biggest advantage? They replace the flammable liquids in current batteries with a solid material, making them much, much safer. But there's been a major roadblock. As you use these solid-state batteries, charging and discharging them, tiny gaps form between the internal layers. This breaks the connection, increases resistance, and ultimately, the battery fails. Until now, the fix has been to squeeze the battery parts together with high pressure, which is complicated and not practical for mass production. But now, a team of researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences has developed a brilliant solution, a self-healing layer they call DAI, which stands for Dynamically Adaptive Interface. Think of it like this. The DAI layer has mobile ions that automatically move in to fill any gaps that appear. It's a constantly adapting seal that keeps the battery's internal connection strong and stable, all on its own. The results from the lab are remarkable. Battery cells with this DAI layer kept over 90% of their energy capacity even after 2,400 cycles. To prove it works in the real world, they built a pouch cell, the kind used in EVS and smartphones. It maintained nearly 75% of its capacity after 300 cycles. And here's the key part, with zero external pressure applied. This is a huge step forward. This self-healing solution could pave the way for safer, greener batteries that last for many years. Experts believe this could help create batteries that double the life of our devices and significantly extend the range of electric vehicles. And for manufacturing, not having to engineer high-pressure systems will make it simpler and cheaper to produce these batteries on a massive scale. This is a true paradigm shift in battery design and a technology you'll want to watch closely.
Um, so
Stable, all on its own. The results from the lab are remarkable. Battery cells with this DAI
um, so let's import in that image I got from the paper here. And so, okay, on this one, I'm going to have him shrink down again. And, wrong one. Darn it. This one. There. And then fit this one. Copy properties, highlight those, do the same, paste them in so they reshape to be right here, not the last one. Um, border. I want to put a border on those. So I come back to this one again, select it, visual effects, border, drag and drop that onto it, make it 7 wide, use alpha, okay. So now it's got that white border on there. Right click on it, say copy effects. Paste effects, so they'll all have the border also. Okay. It ends like that. Okay, so now transitions, like fade in on that, fade out on that. Okay, put a transition right there. Zoom in on it to make sure it's short. Looks short when you're not zoomed in.
Think of it like this. Think of it like this.
It's too jolting being that short.
Think of it like this.
A little bit short.
Think of it like this.
That's good.
The DAI layer has mobile ions that automatically move in
Do a fast fade on that one.
biggest advantage? They replace the flammable liquids in current batteries with a solid material, making them much, much safer. But there's been a major roadblock. As you use these solid-state batteries, charging and discharging them, tiny gaps form between the internal layers. This breaks the connection, increases resistance, and ultimately, the battery fails. Until now, the fix has been to squeeze the battery parts together with high pressure, which is complicated and not practical for mass production. But now,
Okay, let's just do that again right here.
fails. Until now, the fix has been to fails. Until now, the fix has been to squeeze the battery parts together with high pressure, which is complicated and not practical for mass production.
Okay, I think that's good enough. Um, and then put the outros. That, then that. Change the color on it. There we go. So, I mean, that didn't take too long to do two of them. And, well, though I did days ago pre-rendered the AI actor. The way I did that is I just found stories, news stories, science stories I thought were interesting. Um, got text prompts made about the stories, gathered in some notepads. Uh, and then like facts about the stories. Then I would took that and went to an AI. I have multiple ones I'm paying for, and I need to cut down on that. But I went to one of them, and I give them all the facts I'd gathered about the story, and say, here, go out and research on the internet and flush out the story with more facts and information about um, you know, whoever is involved and that sort of thing. And then I give it some extra steps there too. I'll take whatever research it gathers. I'll say, okay, reformat this into a story that's more for presentation in a news um, reporter or a streamer online for a particular level of audience, a particular type of audience, not for scientists, but for tech savvy people. And so I end up getting it into the basic, and I end up telling to format it again to make it more like text in a teleprompter and all this sort of thing. And then I copy all that, put it into lip sync flow. Let's see here, do I have that running? Well, like I'll just go over to the other PC where I do have it running right here. So put it into lip sync flow, but not like this. Let's start with, I can't do that. Well, let me just pull up to show an example. I'll start a new one. Oh, yeah. Just create some test character. And then it grabs some big chunk of text from somewhere. I don't know, just some random chunk of text somewhere. Um, try something different. Is there such thing as sci-fi news? Okay, whatever. Something about Tom Cruise, whatever. Just grab a chunk of text I'm looking for here to show. Okay, so the AI, let's say, outputted some chunk of text like that, whatever. Um, then I take that news teleprompter text type output from the other AI, just paste it into here, which did not work. I was afraid that that copy would not work. Okay, start over. here. Sci-fi comics. That is. Okay, so sci-fi news probably wasn't good. I don't know. What type of news am I looking for here? Uh, just, I guess the science news, whatever. It's fine. $20 million NASA to visit mission to visit God of Chaos asteroids. Okay, so whatever. So grab a bunch of text for a story. Normally the AI would output this, but anyway, just go like that. Paste it in. So now you got this big chunk of text in here. That's your teleprompter story or whatever. Tell it to split it all out. Yeah, there it is. It splits out the text for the story that the other AI that I used to put together the story. And now it's broken out automatically into clips. Each one of these rows represents a video render, a video clip. And it tells you the estimated speaking time in seconds, render time in minutes, um, and then that's how you get all these clips. So find a story, gather facts about it, give it to AI, ask it to go out and do more research and flesh out the story, reformat everything to be more conversational, um, reformat that and to be more like in a teleprompt, what you'd have in a teleprompter, and then feed that into lip sync flow. And like maybe I'm about to go to bed at night and I say, and you can see, these, if I had a lot more of them, it'd be even more like that the story was like 5 times longer than this, a lot more clips. We can see each one takes, 18 seconds of speaking, estimated 18 minutes of render time. 12 seconds of speaking, estimated 18 minutes of render time. Another 12 seconds of speaking, another estimated 18 minutes of render time, and so on and so forth. And so I just kick that off at night when I'm about to go to bed, and when I wake up in the morning, or maybe they're done, or I may send 8 of these in, 8 entire stories at night, and then go to bed. And so all night long it's rendering. The next day while I'm working on my, at work, on my job, on my laptop, my PC is still back here rendering all day long while I'm at work. I'm done working that day and set my laptop down, look at my PC, see where it's at, and it may be done. It may not. It may still be rendering all that night, and after I go to bed, it's still rendering. It'll sit there and just keep going and going and going and knock out every one of these. As long as your PC doesn't have some kind of hiccup and cause that to stop in the middle, then you just start over whichever ones didn't get completed, and um, it'll spit them all out, and then you just gather them all together like I did here, and you saw when I kept flipping over to this folder right here. So I just created a folder that's about these stories, the science news, one folder for each story. Dumped in the videos that were created by Lip Sync Flow, which are like these right here. It's all those clips. Just drop them in here, and then you saw what I was doing with them, putting them into my video editing software and assembling them all together into a final rendered output. And so, that's I could whip out multiple of these if I wanted. If I was like making money on YouTube as a science news channel, I could sit here all day long and just make these all day, every day. And if I was making $1 million a year as a streamer doing that, so it's the lip sync flow is definitely one piece in a workflow of tools that you can assemble together to make content. And all this stuff I'm doing here, by the way, like everything to construct it together, I'm trying to automate that thing I showed at the beginning with cursor. I said I was doing this proof of concept back here. I've been having it all week long work on. I haven't ran it, tested it once. I don't know if it's even close to working, but what I'm trying to get it to do is automate the process of automate the process of creating one of these. I have no clue if I'm going to be able to get it to actually do that because there's definitely some human judgment of where to add transitions, where to reshape. Well, I mean, not necessarily that part doesn't. That can be automated. Like when to maybe do the picture in picture of the speaker, like right here, how he's down here instead of full screen. But it's possible that the AI could or the app can create create randomized mixtures of these things, and maybe it will look okay. Maybe it'll look good. I don't know. I'm trying to integrate AI in with it also in my original prompt. I'm still talking about this proof of concept I'm playing around with back here. I don't know if it's ever going to be able to do that, auto generate those shows for me, but I did tell it at the beginning that it can call AI APIs as part of this app to help it figure out how to assemble the final output video. Um, so it might work. I don't know. We'll see. See, unfortunately, the problem, this is what I don't like about Cursor, is if I'm off doing something else for too long, it does this connection failed. Why? Why don't you just do it like OpenAI's Codex does, where it'll just, you just tell it to continue, click a button or something like that, tell it to continue. But it's not that big of a deal in Cursor. I can just say continue in the chat, and then it will. It'll continue where it left off. I don't understand why it does that disconnection thing. In any case, so that proof of concept app hopefully automate this process for me. But if it can't, it's not that big of a deal to make these. But I don't know that I want to like. I mean, if I was making a lot of money doing it somehow from YouTube or something, by all means, I'd sit here and do this all day, every day. But uh, for now, like I said, I'm just doing this as like a presentation of what's possible with lip sync flow for other creator type people to as soon as Shopify finally gets things synced out with IRS, so I can put the USBs up for sale, like these right here. I showed them off last week when I recorded did the stream, but these see here in the camera, if it, these USB sticks, they're 250 gig USB sticks. I've got a bunch of these ordered. They're here. I've got them. I've been running the app onto them. I'll have those for sale. I'm planning on selling the first 10 really cheap. And unlike OpenAI and all these other AI services, it's not a service. It's not a month. It's not $100 per month or $200 per month or whatever. Um, it's at least these first 10, I'm going to make them really cheap, probably like $55. I'm not sure, but and then once the first 10 sell and people say, oh, yes, it did exactly like you've tested it. I plugged in the USB, copied the entire USB onto my internal drive, and now it works. I'm making AI videos on my PC at no further cost. You can make a million of them. You can make a million mistakes and re-render them all. It doesn't. It's on your PC. It's not OpenAI charging you for every one of those. And so um, that's what I'm doing here by making these is showing people, look, you could make stuff like this. That Stanton radio is already out there, but I'm adding more so people can uh, just get a better in their imagination, get some ideas popping up of what they can make with this. And as soon as Shopify gets their stuff straightened out, I'll make these USBs for the first 10 available for sale. And like I said, I'll pause right there, make sure that it's working for people. I mean, it's working for me, but you know, different PCs, different situations. So make sure it is the people who bought it are working for them. And then I'll probably raise the price a little bit more and sell maybe another 10 or something, another 20, 100, I don't know. And ease my way into it. And then once I know it's working and the shipping is all working and all that with Shopify and all that, then I'll just whatever the final price is, but it's not going to be a monthly thing. It's a USB stick. You just copy and paste it off into your computer, and you don't have to install a bunch of Python stuff or AI stuff or any of that. It just works. So, um, and instead of it being 100 or $200 a month or whatever, maybe it's $100 one time for this USB stick, and that's it. You can render as much as you want from there on your own PC as a content creator, or for fun or whatever. But your self-healing, yeah, it's wrong folder. I need to move that up to the right story folder. This one here. Okay, export. And this is exactly what I did with the other one earlier, um, probably about an hour ago. When I was doing these, uploading the other one I finished. And so I picked what, about eight initial stories that I started all this about a week, like I said, days ago. I don't know if it's a week ago. Maybe it's this week, last weekend I did this. But got the stories all together and got all the text together and put them together into like teleprompter type formatting, and then put them into lip sync flow and had it render all these AI videos. And then then I just didn't pay attention to it for a couple days and let it finish on its own. And okay, so that is the full one. Now I need to make the phone version. So I always want to come up here and say new project to kind of close that one out because otherwise it conflicts with, for whatever reason, if you have that same story open over there when you do this part, clicks. But if I just close that one out by saying new video, or maybe close it, I don't know, but I say new video in Camtasia, and then that resets whatever its issue is. Then I come back here and say, take this video, which is the full one I've just rendered out, turn it into a for phone version like that. Save it with the same name, but with for phone added onto the end. Then export it, render it. Phone on that also, or else I'll overwrite my other one. Okay, export. This takes, it looks like half a minute, and then we'll upload them to YouTube. And that will be done at the end of this particular chunk of work that I was going to do here today. I wish the Shopify was done so I could get all the rest of it done. I want to make this available for sale ASAP. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I'll dream up some more content. I was thinking about, okay, this is science news. I need another example that is comedy of some kind. I'm not a comedian, but I got to make myself funny to come up with that in some way. But people like comedy. I like comedy. So making a funny series of these instead of it being news is probably a good idea. Can I close that out? Okay, let's upload first one. Okay, Wednesday, lithium batteries less likely to catch fire. Okay, and I'll save that off so that I can just copy and paste it into the next one, the for phone version. cutting edge news playlist, not for kids, and then wait for the auto generated thumbnail. Okay. Um, yeah, what I'm going to do is over here on Stream Team's website for this Lip Sync Flow webpage right here. So there's this little call out up here for Stanton Radio. When you click it, it takes you to Stanton Radio. That's what we were looking at earlier. So you can see one example of what was made with Lip Sync Flow. And now with this cutting edge news, I can put another one on here that shows those. In fact, I should work on that. Well, here, let me get this done first. Okay. And then the for phone version. For phone playlist, not for kids. While waiting on that, let's see here the website. I want to put in, oh, right, that call out. This is the website. I'm just trying to use AI for everything. If I could use AI to blow my nose, I will figure out a way to do it. I'll do it. This is how I've always, so far throughout my career, my entire life, I've been able to not lose my career because then when new major things come out for software development, I just master them. Use them all the time, just all the time for everything, and that's how I master them. And then I just keep moving up. Yeah, my career stays solid. I don't know with AI if that's going to happen, but I am doing the exact same thing with it just every day for years now. Even making just website, simple website updates like this. I could do this myself manually, but I've been developing since I was 10 years old. But things are changing. So. Uh, Okay, so it looks like we're back. Huh. We just moved the camera around, but whatever. So the stream's still going like magic. Okay. Well, I had to turn my computer. I had to reboot my computer. It was locked up. I ended up getting on my other PC with a physical. Oh, it doesn't matter. On my other PC, and then tried connecting over the network to this PC like I had been, and it did not work. So at that point, obviously the PC was just locked up. I don't know what it was conflicted on, but in any case, I had not to restart everything. I think I was uploading to YouTube. Or phone. New muscles. That was the new one, right? Yeah. No, no, no. It was the lithium one. Right down here, self-healing lithium. It's in draft mode. Good. So it kind of saved it. All right. Not for kids. Next, next, next. Public. All right. So that's nice. I didn't lose everything. Some time. Okay. Good. So that's done. That's what I was trying to get done today. Looks like I did not lose the stream as well. So that's good. Right. Let's go look at the chats. I'm not keeping up on that, obviously. I should be, just in case someone shows up, starts asking technical questions. I could chit chat about how all this works. But there's nobody there. It doesn't look like anybody ever was there. Been developing since I was 10 years old, but all right, yeah. So where, what was I doing when it locked up? So I was uploading that video. Oh, right. Then I was getting ready to use Cursor to update the website with the cutting edge news playlist. Maybe I'll put them both on there. Oh, maybe just one. Show generator. Okay. I'll continue on that one later. Start another cursor while that one's back there running. Stream team. There we go. I think the YouTube tab just started playing on its own. Feedback there. Okay. So Stream Team, the website. I wanted to get this one. I want to get cutting edge news for phone. I want. Okay. It's got to be some way. There is. How do I get to the playlist itself? Get shareable link. That should do it. I think. Let's look and see where it goes. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. No, no, that's for phone. All right. Um, oh, for phone. Yeah. There. Okay, that's the exact link. So let's go back over to cursor. Lip sync flow web page is the one. Probably has Stanton Radio in here somewhere. Yep, right there. Okay. Um, let's tell it to make another one of those. Okay. In this lip sync flow web page, there is a header section with a call out div inside. I want you to make another call out, which will appear. Let's see here. Which one on the left hand side or what? So that one's on the right. Put another one over here on the left. That will appear on the left side of the screen, opposite of the Stanton radio call out. This new call out will point to the URL, and it is to be labeled cutting edge news with David Vance. And it says one tab right there, which means the tab I currently have loaded, which is the lip sync flow one. So I'll just use that instead of dragging it and dropping the page into here as a prompt. It's not indexed. Why is it not indexed? I thought it was indexed. Okay. Let's see here. What is it doing? It's adding another one in there. Okay. Let's see if we can get it to demo. Show this page in a simple Python web server. No, stop. See right there. Stop. Undo all. I don't want you to create a server. Run this page as a simple, or um, so I just do what I just told you to do. Run this page using a simple Python HTTP host. I did not have to tell it this before, but do not create a new app. Let's see if that does it. Just show the page, the simple Python HTTP, like that. All I wanted you to do, so I can test. Uh, Port 8000. Right there. And it's not working for some reason. Um, Maybe I'm already using port 8000. Kill that one and start it again on port 9000. File not found. Nothing matches the given URL. Okay. Um, actually down in some subpath maybe. No. Or yes. Yes, I think it is. Before when I tested, I just had it go to the home page. But okay. Yeah, that works. There it is. Cutting Edge News with David Vance. Open in a new tab. Yep, and right to it. Perfect. Thank you, AI. Um, so I could have added that in myself, but just having AI do it is, once again, having AI do everything every day gives me tons of experience with just all the ins and outs and the problems and the quirks and how to get around problems and quirks and all this stuff that you get with everyday real world experience for years. So there we go. Got two examples, Stanton Radio and Cutting Edge News. So people can see different things you can do with the AI video characters made with this tool. And like I said, like OpenAI and those types of companies that are making these AI actors, they're charging like $100 or $200 per month. And yes, they have these giant servers that are available to them to maybe do higher end videos, but they have all these weird restrictions on them. Um, and you don't have to have any restrictions at all when you're on your own computer running lip sync flow. You can just code or render whatever you want as much as you want. If you make a mistake, so render it again. If it made a mistake again, so render it again. That's what I was doing with, like I showed earlier with the Stanton Radio. There's that one of his actors, his characters in that story. She ends up becoming a rebel, and then she's wearing a mask and a hood and stuff. And so I'm having a lip sync, an AI lip sync rendering video renderer make a character say all these scripts, but her mouth is hidden because of the mask. So you kind of see her moving her head around as she's talking, and and it's in sync with what she's saying. But the AI keeps wanting to have a mouth where the mask is because it's trying to do lip syncing, and and it generally does a good job. But on like three of his hundreds of videos, uh, they with her in it, that it kept wanting to put mouths in, and I had to like render each of those two or three, I think more times than that. I was playing around with the prompts and stuff to try to get her to not do that. Uh, but putting the prompts in didn't really seem to well, maybe one of them had a bit of effect where I'd say things like, she's masked, no mouth. But then when I said that, I think I said mouth. And so it was like really wanting to put a mouth in then. So I'd say I was saying different things like character wearing a mask, character uh, emotes with her head but doesn't actually speak or something like that. And I think that one maybe actually did do better. But where because she didn't have a mouth when it rendered that time. But that could have been luck because sometimes with these you just render over again, and that time it just doesn't put a mouth in or whatever the quirk is that the AI is injecting in. Uh, but and what I was getting at was like with OpenAI and those other services, they're charging you every time you do that. They've put billions or trillions into all of these many thousands, hundreds of thousands of GPUs that they have, special GPUs. They don't use them as graphics processing units at all. They use them just for AI. And they're like $30,000 each. Whereas like a 4090 from NVIDIA for GPU for gaming is maybe $2,000. Ridiculously high, like the cost of an entire PC. True, but that's 2,000 is a lot cheaper than 30,000, and they have like 500,000 of those, let's say, for just one data center. So unbelievable amounts of money. But so they need to recoup that money. So every time you render a video, even if it's broken and you don't like it, don't want it, they're charged for it. With lip sync flow at home on your 4090 or above, maybe a 3090 will work. because it's 24 gig of RAM. It's the real key. 16 gig can work if you keep the video sizes limited and all that. But in any case, at home, you can just keep rendering and rendering and rendering, just to try things, just to have fun, just to joke around, to correct mistakes, whatever. It doesn't cost you anything extra. And those services, like I said, I think that costs like $100, $200 or more a month. Lip Sync Flow, I'm thinking maybe once I get like I said, I'm going to release these in phases, like maybe $55 for the first 10, and maybe $65 for the next chunk, and $75 for the next batch, and then finally get my way up to $95, let's say, and that will be it. That'll be the full cost of this thing in the end for everybody that comes after the initial first few that helped me test it all out and everything. Um, so it's $95 a month. Or not $95 a month, I'm sorry, $95 one time on one of these USB sticks. So I mail you one of these, you copy everything off of here onto your computer, and now you've got it. You can just do what I'm doing. You don't have to keep paying me every month like you do with OpenAI and all those other services. So I think it's a good tool, to make this type of content. And sure, I'm not OpenAI with trillion-dollar data centers, but I think it's a niche for lots of people to make things. Uh, all right, so here we go. Oh, I need to publish this. Let's do that. I was not a big Git user for years. Where I work, we used, for years, something called TFS, Microsoft TFS, to maintain our code. We've since, like 5 years ago or whatever, switched over to Git. But so I didn't have a bunch of experience with Git, and Cursor AI helped me learn Git by using it, in little baby steps like this right here, where I would never type these commands in before, but I asked Cursor to do it for me. Because every time at work, I ask a human, how do I do this in Git so I don't break something or overwrite somebody else's code or whatever. And every single time the person goes, "Oh, sure, I'll show you," and I hear "oops" in the middle every single time. And going in the middle of them typing all these commands like it's the 1980s and putting all this, command line Git stuff in instead of just checking some boxes and stuff like you would with TFS and Visual Studio. Um, oops, and so this I don't want to hear oops when I'm checking in code. Okay, but anyway, so with Cursor, I just ask it to do it, and it never says oops. It knows all these commands are well, and I can have it baby step me through it. With at work with humans, I'm trying not to consume their time. They've got their own task list they're trying to get done, and everybody's behind all the time. There's a backlog that goes for months, and it's never enough time at work. So I don't try not to bug them with holding my hand through Git. Um, but with Cursor, I, I have it stop and hold my hand, walk me through it so I can learn these commands, and it's helped me learn, um, at least these commands to do this on my own, which I never used to do. I would use like a GitHub desktop exclusively to do it, but now I'm starting to learn the commands because of AI helping me. What did I do? I added cutting edge news call out, and that's it. It's up on my website now. Actually, it'll take a minute for it to update it, but here, let me just jump there right now. Okay. So here in a minute when it update, even though I've already pushed it, um, it's going through like this pipeline through a workflow. So just because it's checked in doesn't mean the website itself has been updated. Some thing back there is going to end up picking up this change and putting it into the actual website itself, and it'll appear here in a minute. And then I'll be it. I'll be done for today on these last two AI videos for cutting edge news. And then, like I said, I need to come up with some other example, some more content to put out there to help people see what you can do with this. I think it probably needs to be something funny. I don't know what. Some kind of maybe come up with some cartoon characters and animate them to do some funny things. I'm a computer programmer. I'm not a comedian. But I'm a solution developer also, so done it for lots of different companies, do all kinds of stuff I'm not an expert in. I've made software for law firms. Doesn't mean I'm a lawyer. So I can do it. I just got to break the problem down into small steps and knock them out one by one. And somewhere in the middle of that, inject some funny. There we go. There it is. So people can see, oh, I can create stuff like this with that. Yeah, that's right. And not for $200 a month either, but for like maybe $95 once. Ship you the USB stick and it's yours. You have to pay me over and 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 over like you do with OpenAI and Google, or the rest of them are. Um, okay, so I guess I'll just end the stream now since that is what I wanted to get accomplished today. See if I can do this right without killing the stream. End stream.